Everybody was, you know, again, everybody had their own position, own like platform, own opinion, and we all try to get it in. Of course, it's a lot of voices, and we are all loud. But like we did the podcast, and I felt like everything was good because everybody left, and everybody left in peace. Where did all this stuff go left, my brother?
All right, so somebody sent me a link on Clubhouse prior to the one that we listening to right now, and Wack was talking to the people in Clubhouse, and he was telling them that, yo, I pressed that nigga. I pressed that nigga. And I was like, yeah, nigga, you got fucked in your ass. And I'm like, hold up. That nigga wasn't talking to me like that when we was face to face. He had gave me 1,000 hugs and we had good conversation. So how you get on Clubhouse and start telling niggas you was disrespecting me? So that's the vibe. When we left after it was all over, he was talking about helping me start my clothing line. I thought we all had a good time. He gets to Clubhouse and he telling dudes that he was pressing me. And then when he sat up there and said, yeah, nigga, I said, you got fucked in the ass. I said, yo, you didn't say that to me. And see, one thing about Wack is a liar and a manipulator, because before we started the podcast and it's on camera, we had a conversation about what he did to Gilly and Wallow. And he was like, yeah, I got to ask you. He asked me ahead of time, could I ask you about the band bada thing? And I said, yeah. So when he gets to Clubhouse, he making it seem like he was just violating me and pressing me. But when you look at all the footage behind the scenes, and you was there, so I don't have to tell you, this nigga was my best friend. So how you get to Clubhouse and start telling nigga, yeah, I said that nigga got fucked in his ass and he ain't do nothing. Like, what?
Yeah,
Like, first and foremost, man, my whole thing is like this. As far as the conversation, it didn't go the way that I wanted to go because he kept cutting off and intervening in everything I was saying. But at the same time, I understand this is debate. So that wasn't the problem. My frustration came from I felt like the conversation was just immature. You
so
see what I'm saying?
no,
But I understand
I
Takashi.
I think that's where you and him start to differ, right? Because you're right. Honestly, I seen y'all having good conversation before everything started. I think once the conversation started, and I was trying to read the energy a little bit, and maybe I think in his interpretation, once you started like, because I ain't gonna lie, your opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were like, yo, hey, listen, 6ix9ine, I seen you go down a route. My job here is to try to see if we could make sure you don't go down the same route, and especially don't bring other kids down that same route with you. And you were coming at it that angle, and I don't know if that's the moment that Wack is just like, man, this thing is just talking bullshit. Like, he's the dude's a rapper. Let him do what a rapper does in terms of I don't know, getting attention, whatever the case is. You know what I mean? And I think in Wack's mind, he was throwing shots subliminally. I didn't think it was aggressive, you know, but I think he was looking at it like, nah, he was shutting you
No,
down.
I'm gonna tell you what it was. Here's what it was. When you sat up there and you said in the hallway, when you sat at the table, you said it a few times. You even said Hassan Campbell is. You said he's the wild card.
I
He
said
didn't
that.
like
You're right.
that. Then you said Hassan is going to be the greatest YouTuber ever.
I don't know if I
Now,
said that, but
while we sitting at the table, right? We sitting at the table. He's starting to read them young boys' energy. I transformed the energy in the whole room, and they started talking about they not thugs anymore, they grown men, and they started speaking positive. He didn't like the glow that I had in the room because I outshined him. Wack in his ego feels like he's bigger than me, but right now he has a podcast. I mean, he has a YouTube page. I have a YouTube page. Video for video, I would kill him, even with celebrity guests on there, because when nobody wants to hear Wack talk by himself or with Rika, whatever his name is, he can't fuck with me. So his ego is starting to kick in. Even though he's sitting up there talking about nobody knows you. When I came to Clubhouse and came into that room with FBG Duck Mother, they sent for me. He sent for me. He knew who I was. Wack, Wack forgot that he said that we was going to do a podcast together, me and him. And we had a lot of conversations. Wack just didn't realize that everybody that Wack talks about, he talks about them so bad and so greasy. I never trusted him. Not even a bit of them.
Wait,
Some of the things that he said,
wait.
yo,
What do you mean though? Because we then get like some leaked footage or like leaked audio, whatever, and I don't know, like everything. Like this is my honest outlook from it, right? I look at Wack and I say this. I'm like, well, Wack, you see, I'm not a street dude, right? So like, if Wack went on Clubhouse and was like, man, yo, we had academics in there like shook. I might say like, yo, that's not true, but I'm not gonna be like, yo, Wack, fuck you. You get me? But that's just my demeanor. Now, I think what he said when it came to you obviously triggers you to be like, yo, bro, that's just not, what happened because I didn't feel that way. But how did it get from there to the leaked audio, and why did you feel you have to put that out? Because now that's the big subject of conversation.
because what you gotta understand is when this dude is sitting up there and he's telling people on the internet that he pressed me, like first and foremost, the dudes that I had with me, the ones you seen inside the room, it was at least about 9 of us in the room. There was another 10 outside because I move smart. I understand the streets. So now when you understand.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Let me stop you right there. I want to ask you because I noticed it was different how you pulled up this time than when you pulled up when you first came to do an interview with just me. You were with another individual, and I don't know if I give off that energy to anyone that like, yo, Ack is going to be like, whatever. But like, you obviously weren't lacking or you weren't whatever, but like you were, it was less people. You didn't bring, you brought way more people this time. What was your thoughts going into the interview that you thought you needed to bring those people with you?
First of all, you got to understand something, right? Like I said, when you listen to the conversation that I leaked, this dude basically blackmailed and extorted everybody. He was squeezing. He was extorting everybody from his own words.
Wait, hold on. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So this is what a lot of people from Cali, and by the way, I've talked to Wack about this too. This squeeze word, apparently California dudes, when they use the word squeeze, it doesn't necessarily means extort. Usually, this is what they've told me, and you can react to it. They said, yo, we use squeeze to basically use, okay, hey, you do this, then I could do this. That's not extortion. That's like, hey, listen, yo, put him on your platform because I'm going to do this for you. That's like a favor for a favor type of thing. You know what I mean? And it's like, how do you get somebody to do something they might not want to do? Hey, I'm going to give you another favor, so I'm squeezing you on this because I don't know. Again, I'm just trying to be fair.
Ack, let me tell you something, right?
Go ahead.
When you listen to this nigga talking about how he blackmailed De La Hoya, how he blackmailed him, squeezed him, he used the same word. When he talk about how he set him up.
What's the De La Hoya thing? I didn't hear that audio.
Yeah, where he said, like, when we talk about how he set him up, when he talking about how he had the footage over Nipsey, like he's not sitting up there talking nice. The nigga is the foulest. Like everybody that he speak about, did you hear about what he said about Big U?
All right, hold on. The Big U thing we're gonna get into in a second. I'm gonna be honest, and this is me being 100% honest. I've been on the phone call with Wack. Wack told me the same thing about Nipsey. Now, again, obviously I didn't record it, but what he told me is that, hey, listen, there's some footage that exists of some very interesting stuff happening with Nipsey, right? And he said, yo, people think I hate him, but I'm protecting that from coming out. I don't like, again, maybe you're reading between the lines, but I didn't look at that like he has the footage or he's threatening or he's getting paid to not release it. And I think that's what, because the Nipsey name is attached to it. And by the way, obviously, because I heard that conversation in a private setting, and now I can reveal it because, it's already out. But like, I heard that in a private setting, I would never, ever say, repeat it. Did you feel like you were kind of like breaking, like, I don't know, some real nigga oath or at least like, confidentiality just by even putting that conversation out?
What I feel like Nipsey is crying out through the grave. You ain't here. See, you got to understand something, right? You didn't hear, I still got more. And when you listen to Wack in his own words, you'll understand that he's the most filthiest nigga on this earth. And see, that Thursday, when I went into his clubhouse, he muted me and talked sarcastic. And I'm like, yo, he ain't never had this energy. Me and Wack talk on the phone. Like, yeah, nigga, he muted me blocked me out of his clubhouse, and said, "I'll see you Friday." So I said, "That's real funny." If you remember, I got the footage. The first thing I said to him when I walked in, I pressed him. I asked him, I said, "Yo, Wack, why you muted me out of that clubhouse?" He played stupid, like I didn't do that. I said, "Yeah,